And we are live. Welcome to another episode of Business Focus Live with me, John, where we talk about business related topics as well as news from here and around the world. New to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and let's get started. And we're back. Thank you again for joining me today. So today is March 25th, 2023 on a Saturday evening. There are a lot of interesting things happening this week, none more so than the first topic we're going to discuss in a bit. We're in a big YouTube tech channel, Linus Tech Tip, was hacked recently. Actually, I was about to discuss it yesterday to the live stream, but you know, things happen, and I had to wait until tonight to be able to discuss the topics. So question is, for a big tech channel, that's into the realm of technology, is hacked. What does this mean for other channels, smaller channels? That the problem of being hacked, whether it's a big corporation, multinational businesses, stealing information and even gaining access to YouTube channels is a troublesome factor. And we'll go into details as to what happened there. And actually, there was a video that Linus recently uploaded discussing the ordeal and what's to be done about it. So we'll take a look at that as well. Next is we'll be discussing, with the advancement of technology, obviously, having internet access, having wireless connectivity. In this case, a popular company, Ring, if you're familiar, that safeguards your house, is now offering a car cam for your vehicle to record, externally or internally here. Now, is this ideal, safe for consumers? We'll talk about that. Next is we'll be discussing, despite the advancements of technology, there are a lot of trepidations, issues that, that's brought up, as mentioned earlier, and the security aspects here. But none more so than, using AI technology, especially on drones, has major applications that one would think that big e-commerce platforms such as Amazon would be the first to be able to adopt this. That's not the case. A company, Zipline, which we'll be talking about later, is able to provide services using drones technology and be able to do this effectively and obviously financially for their business here. So what does this mean for the future here? We'll talk about that. Next is in the case of investments, right? So it doesn't matter whether you have a small amount of money or even a big celebrity or even an NBA star, which if you have thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars, you can be duped into investing in fraudulent activities simply because someone told you that you should invest in such and such investments that didn't pan out. So we'll talk about that. Which players were affected with this defrauded incident. And lastly, in terms of manufacturing, the ever popular Tesla vehicles, the much hyped Cybertruck, and its main competition, the Ford Raptor. Is it really a big comparison? Is one better than the other? Is it even worth it to own such big vehicles for everyday use? So we'll take a look at that as well later. Anyway, so let's dive in for our first topic. As mentioned, one of the biggest tech YouTube channels, Linus Tech Tip, which is a big fan, was recently hacked, and I was surprised actually when I saw my dashboard and saw a title of the channel that looks similar, but it was named differently. Instead, from Linus Tech Tips, it was mentioned Linus Tech Temp, Tech Tips Temp. So that got me curious, and the content there was kind of odd, which is not common to what typically Linus Tech Tips channels normally produce. And let's take a look at the article here, which is was surprising what transpired and what happened there. Anyway, so according to techspot.com, YouTube channel Linus Tech Tips was terminated after it was hacked to show crypto scams video, and it's as if it were only about, you know, uploading crypto scams to prey on people, but also, you know, if you're the owner, or in this case Linus owns the channel, you'd be worried because I think they tried deleting or deleted the contents of the entire channel there, and as well as their other subsidiaries, other YouTube channels such as Tech Quickie and Tech Link, I think. And you know, this caused a lot of concerns from the YouTube fans who tried to contact the team at Linus Tech Tips to let them know what was happening. And I think in the video where Linus mentions this was in the middle of the night, where he was butt naked dealing with the situation, which strongly suggest you watch his discussion of this ordeal here. And then let's go into the details here as mentioned. So it mentions here that it was used by hackers to show pre-recorded live streaming crypto scam videos featuring former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey and Tesla CEO Elon Musk. And the channel is now showing a message stating that it has been shut down for violating YouTube's community guidelines, but it appears Linus other channels were also affected. So this is what you would see in that discussion there, which is obviously trying to promote cryptocurrency as a means of investment for many individuals, which is, you know, kind of scary and duping people, since, you know, the main channel is used here as a platform for people to see if they will be convinced to invest in such the platform as mentioned here. Now the hackers changed the channel's name as mentioned to Linus Tech Tips Temps as mentioned, and adding a @temporable handle there. And they also posted 2 videos of old live streams featuring Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk, where in part the B word conference held by ARK Invest last year, and overlays linking to cryptocurrency scams, obviously trying to convince individuals to follow that link, and obviously trying to make money out of it, and which is obviously kind of concerning. And, you know, good thing that this was resolved soon after, when Linus got wind of the situation and contacted the team at YouTube, and I think one of the, what did they call it, partners that they or contact person in Google YouTube to address the situation, which leads to the video that Linus mentioned here, where he goes on to explain the situation that happened there. So you can check out the entire video here, wherein he discussed the details of the situation, and you can, you know, check out the ordeal that he went to, being butt naked in the middle of the night, you know, trying to address the situation, which is kind of concerning. And the question here is, how was it that, as mentioned, this was not only happened one time with the channel here, and it happened already twice. So this is the second time that their channel got hacked. And the concerning thing here is that what is YouTube doing, or in this case Google doing, to avert this? Now Linus mentions in detail that he focused on they're currently using a two-factor authentication, which is obviously there's a way to circumvent the process. It's not foolproof, and obviously, as big of a company as Linus Tech Tips, there are ways to fish for vulnerabilities, which what happened here. Obviously, you cannot fault them, because obviously if your employees are properly trained to recognize certain things that's happening, then obviously, you know, it's inevitable. It's by the numbers here, especially if it's a big channel as big as Linus Tech Tips, which I think has less than 100 people already, and it's still growing still here. And, you know, the sad reality here is, you know, good thing for Linus, they were able to address the situation quickly. But the sad of the fact is, other channels or other established businesses are encountering the same situation and doesn't have the same clout as Linus here. And question is, what's YouTube going to do about it? And I think Linus mentioned several key aspects, recommending to the company, you know, to make it more difficult to verify if they're doing something out of the ordinary, in terms of, let's say, deleting the whole library here and asking for you to authenticate if you're sure in this process, and obviously gaining access here. Obviously there's limits as to what YouTube can do here, and obviously at the end of the day the users has to protect themselves and be aware of such situations here from happening, and hopefully moving forward could provide more details as to how to protect your data, or in this case your channel here, because thankfully they were not able to access the password, but they were able to, I think, as Linus mentioned, they were able to copy the entire uh, cookies desktop of the user who mistakenly opened the Trojan file, which enabled them to access the channels, the different channels that Linus have. And it's a concerning problem that's ever growing, and it's going to increase ever more present, and obviously with the advancement of technology, and with the downside of hackers being more prominent, becoming more lucrative and so forth, is it's a matter only of time before what can government do to step into to help businesses, legitimate businesses, to protect their businesses, and even for more so for individuals who are not you know protected, who are the most vulnerable here. Anyway, so I do strongly suggest or encourage everyone to check out the channel, watch the video on Linus channel, main channel, regarding the issue that transpired here this past weekend. So anyway, moving on for our next topic, as mentioned, another company that I have apprehension in terms of its application. It's the Ring company, which provides not software, security cameras that's very easy to install, and you can connect it to your internet and to your cloud, so that you can keep track of your house, if it's protected or not, if someone's trying to access it or not. But obviously, in terms of software, if the company has access to it, then other people can access it, which has brought up a lot of issues. But in the case here, they're now offering not just a Ring cam for your homes, but they're now offering Ring car cam for your vehicle, which is interesting here. Obviously, many cars currently right now doesn't have a built-in dash cam, which I think should be the standards moving forward, since they're able to incorporate autonomous driving, auto assist, a lot of features, and yet we cannot even have this basic features. You can have rear camera sensor when you're backing up, but how about moving forward? I think that should be built in, so that we don't have to pay for such services. You have to pay $6 a monthly fee to be able to use this feature, which should have been incorporated in the vehicle to protect the interests of the owners, the vehicles themselves. This is on you, Toyota, GM, Ford, and those big manufacturing car companies here. Anyway, and it mentions here that the evolution of technology here has grown significantly, obviously, from something so big for security purposes now can be put into smaller devices, and be more accessible to the masses here. And I have no problem with technology here, making it easier for people to safeguard their vehicle. But obviously, I'm dead against with a subscription base, and we've seen many businesses in terms of streaming services. Even Tesla is offering subscription based even for games. Looking at Xbox Game Pass offering subscription, which makes them a ton of money, which is I'm fine if they offer tremendous value. But in terms of in this case security, I think the car manufacturing should be responsible for installing, similar to when when seatbelts were mandated to be required in the service of protection of the passengers here. And I think having car dash cams is an important feature that should be incorporated automatically, whether it's automated. Once you start the vehicle, the dash cam will start recording, or if there's sudden movement in front when the car is parked, so it would record, so that it has evidence whether there's something that happened to the car or happened against with the car here. Obviously that's going to add additional cost, which is I'm fine with it. as long as the feature is integrated with the car, that's going to protect the interest of the passengers, in this case the drivers themselves. But we'll see. And obviously, since Ring is owned by Amazon, uh, who knows what will happen. Obviously, they're going to make a killing out of this. Anyhow, continuing with our topic. Next is, not all technologies are bad, especially with drone technology. Now, obviously, having flown drones for quite some time now, it's enjoyable. But in terms of business application, I think Amazon for quite some time has been trying to be able to automate their services and do away with human intervention from warehouses to delivering their packages to their end consumer or customers. But obviously the limitations here is obviously the packages are from different sizes, and what they use, the typical drones can be noisy, and if they're able to eliminate the noise, that would be something. And this is where the company is able to found already a solution. I'm talking none other than the company Zipline, which I found it interesting what they are able to do here, and it's pretty remarkable. I think with their current operation, if they are able to expand and logistics company able to take advantage of this, you'll be seeing more of this sooner rather than later. And autonomous drone delivery packages flying all over our skies, which obviously will create another set of problems. Traffic's in the air. If you imagine, lots of drones flying in our skies here. But anyway, so in this article, according to CNBC.com, Zipline unveils its P2 delivery drones that dock and recharge autonomously. And obviously, for far-flung regions that is remote, that has limited access, and as in the case when I first watched this video on Mark Roberts' channel. So I'll leave the link in the description below, where he showcases how Zipline works here. So if you notice, it's very simple. It's not that intrusive. And then it would drop down and deliver the package, whatever that you need. And typically, this was test piloted in Rwanda, if I got it correctly. And let's see how they're able to do that. So you can see it's flying over the skies, and it will drop down the package so that it would drop the items here. Now, obviously, there's limitation in terms of what it can deliver, but for remote areas, especially for medical needs, you need medicine, blood, whatever the case may be, for the hospitals, and they can order it immediately and then deliver it to your doorsteps quite easily here. And you can imagine, you can expand that, make bigger drones so that you can drop bigger packages or multiple packages, which technically will make human interventions delivery services obsolete in the near future, which is with this technology being offered right now. And obviously it's still at the early stages, meaning the company is only using it in one particular region, in this case in Rwanda. But eventually other companies will be interested here, especially what do you call this, Amazon, and hopefully other companies here in Southeast Asia. You have Shopee, Lazada. If they're able to capitalize that, they'll be able to deliver it even much quicker, the package here, rather than go through the typical channels of distribution center, and then from the distribution center deliver it to the different locations here, and you could deliver it right to your doorsteps, to your intended destination here. So which is pretty remarkable, to say the least. Anyway, continue with our discussion with finance and sports merged together, wherein making investments can be catastrophic if you don't do your own research and know what you're getting into. Who are you trusting with your money? And in this case, current NBA players who were duped by an ex-Morgan Stanley advisor by defrauding those NBA players. So let's take a look at the article. So here at CNBC.com, so meaning the person in discussion here is Darren Cohen, a former Morgan Stanley financial advisor, was arrested and charged for allegedly defrauding multiple current and former NBA players. So, just because you are rich doesn't mean people are not trying to scheme or trying to take advantage of it. That's why, we were talking about earlier, cybersecurity is a growing problem, whether it's the traditional means of defrauding people face to face, or in this case online, it's getting even more wider and more rampant as the years go by here. Anyway, so Cohen here is facing three different federal counts of fraud and could face up to 20 years of prison if he is convicted. And SEC, or the Securities Exchange Commission, also charged Cohen here. So let's see who did he targeted here. So it was mentioned here he was charged for allegedly defrauding current and former NBA players, including such as Drew Holiday. You have former player Chandler Person and Courtney Lee. So the count is conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and one count of wire fraud, according to federal prosecutors, which would carry up to 20 years of sentence here, which is not good. So what did he do here? It mentions here, according to DOJ, it mentions that Cohen and his alleged co-conspirators induced the three clients to purchase overpriced life insurance policies that Cohen later used to do renovation on his home and pool for self-serving purposes, obviously, as well as pay off his credit card bills and give money to a romantic partner. There will always be people trying to dupe other people from their money, and obviously in this case, it's up to us individuals to be wised up, to be aware that not all people that's telling you what to do with your finances, where to invest, are thinking of your interest here. Obviously, they always think of themselves first before of others here. And it's mentioned here, according to the U.S. attorney, that these defendants believe that defrauding professional athletes of millions of dollars would be an easy layup. Well, that was a huge mistake, and they're now facing serious criminal charges for their crimes here. And obviously, for it's not just players, but everyone, should take note that be more cautious and do your own due diligence in terms of making the right investments here. And if you're not sure, you can always park it in the bank, invest in time deposit, or the treasury bills, buy treasury bills from the government if you're trying to play it safe here, or if you're feeling lucky in investing in cryptocurrency. Anyway, for our last topic, as mentioned earlier, so we were talking about the popularity of Tesla, and even the much hyped Cybertruck, which is going up against the Ford Raptor here. And I've seen the Ford Raptor here in the Philippines, so it looks nice, it looks bulky, but is it even practical for city driving? Because obviously it's a truck, that's the whole point, whether it's a Cybertruck or a Ford Raptor truck. And a truck has its own utility use for work purposes, but if you're daily driving it, the fact that it's too wide and fuel consumption is not ideal, even if it's electrified, right? Because obviously, where you're going to get those batteries to be able to supplement all the demand for those electric vehicles here. Anyway, according to electric.co, it mentions the Tesla Cybertruck size revealed, and how does it compare to the Ford Raptor here. And I'm assuming that it would be a significant, it would be a big vehicle. As you can see here, obviously the design has to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, especially capturing the male audience attention here, who are going to be predominantly buying those vehicles here. Let's see here, what was the detail here. Okay, according to the CEO, way back in 2020, there were the biggest changes to the Cybertruck from the prototype, and has been reduced to just by 3%, made the center line more level, lowered the window sill height. Now, the Cybertruck is now in pre-production beta phase, just months away from the start of production. Tesla has been shy about confirming changes, including the actual size of the electric pickup truck. And according to Matthew Donegan Ryan, Tesla investor who attended Tesla's Investor Day earlier this month, claims to have talked with Tesla executives at the event who confirmed many new details about the Cybertruck. Here, let's take a look here on the illustration. So you can see here it has a flatbed here, just like with the regular truck, but it's for me it's a bit much. It looks sci-fi, similar to Cyberpunk, the game, if you're familiar. But is it going to be actually practical in terms of usage? I think you can see here in terms of the design here of its limited visibility from the side here. But in terms of the frontage of what Tesla has learned from their model sedan vehicles is the view in front, is important. But again, my impression here is all of the technology is going to be relied upon on the main dash console, which is, it's going to be tech related. And if it crashes down, will you still be able to run your vehicle here? And that's my big concern with any electric vehicle that's going to be fully electric or going to rely on the software of the vehicle. Because if it were to crash, or for some reason it were to hang, for whatever the reason, can you still use the vehicle? Not like the traditional combustible engine. Obviously, if something were to go awry, you're still able to jumpstart it, push it, whatever you need to do. The overall length, the Raptor is slightly longer by an inch. And then without mirrors, slight edge for the Raptor, which is obviously having a bigger dimension is not ideal because it's going to occupy a wider space, especially in parking, in the road, dealing with other vehicles here. And then for the bed dimensions, which is kind of interesting, if you notice, even though the length or the width of the vehicle is big, but the bed, flat bed at the back is slightly smaller. Not necessarily you'll be able to put more stuff in it, or even long, let's say, plywood, logs, if you need it, or let's say you're putting something much bigger here. As you can see, for the Ford Raptor has only 67 inches. Is it 67 inches? I'm assuming it's inches, compared to Cybertruck's 73 inches in terms of length. And the bed width is somewhat similar, and the rear opening width is the Ford Raptor has a bigger width compared to Cybertruck. And obviously, there's a slight difference here, but I think the length of the flatbed is pretty significant. That the Ford Raptor is shorter, so you're limited what you can bring to your vehicle compared to the Cybertruck, which obviously that 6-inch can mean a lot to what you can bring to your vehicle or carry to your vehicle here. Anyway, which is kind of interesting, which would people still be lining up to buy those vehicles, knowing that I've been a big advocate of the issues that electric vehicles has to deal with in terms of not enough battery sources to be able to meet the supply if they're really intended on shifting away from combustible engine. And obviously the infrastructure is not yet fully solved. The charging stations necessarily needed, and the ability to fast charge those vehicles is still a long ways to go. And I don't know how long is it in this decades later, or centuries later, before they're able to address that issue. Or even if is it a possibility that we'll still rely on combustible engine moving forward, or just a combination like a hybrid, which what Toyota is known for offering in their current lineup here. Anyway, I think that's about it. We've been discussing it for overtime for today's discussion. Anyway, I think that's about it. If you have any, we have some people here today. Oh, good evening, everyone. Thank you for dropping by. What was it? There you go. Yeah, if you have any question with regards to today's topic, don't forget to leave your comments down below, and I'll try to get back to you. Especially the first topic, how concerned should you be with regards to the growing proliferation of cybersecurity hack, whether on a small scale, trying to fish for individual people's money, tricking people that they've won. Now in YouTube, that's even more prevalent, especially for big channels. I think Linus Tech Tips encountered that as well. Obviously, trying to solve it on their own is difficult on its own, and it's the onus on YouTube to address this. It's not just for the what do you call this, for the users to address this, because it's your platform and you're making money out of this, and yet you're not taking care of your influencers in this platform, which is obviously it's going to be a growing problem unless they solve it, and until, I don't know, maybe more big YouTubers, big channels speak out, until they force YouTube to address this immediately, so that this doesn't get out of hand. Because obviously, if it left unchecked, it can go array pretty quickly here, which we don't no one wants that to happen here. Obviously, YouTube has seen more positive than negative, and obviously, managing it is a difficult balance for YouTube. But obviously, their primary focus is to make sure that it's profitable on their part. And obviously, sometimes the content creators here and the viewers are left behind, holding the platform, to whatever it's the situation here. But hopefully they can address this. Anyway, that's about it. So hopefully, we'll discuss more topics about this moving forward, and I'll keep you updated with the different topics that we've discussed today and from the past. Okay, I think that's about it. So come back again, hopefully, on Saturdays for more Business Focus Live, or you can check out my other contents on Business Focus, Monday Checklist, and even Business Update. Oakton Bridge. It's okay. There'll be time to discuss other. Okay, thank you for dropping by, Mark and Ruben. Or Ruben. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Ruben or Ruben? I think Ruben pag English. Is it English how you pronounce? Pag Ruben, if it's Tagalog. Anyway. Okay, stay safe everyone. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.